Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to ask the question, are you stronger than you think? Before I get into this topic, if you guys need coaching, check out the link below. I would love to help. Coaching is what I do for a living. If you are interested in a custom workout, I offer a service for only $39. You can check out that link down below. All right, so this is an interesting topic of discussion because when you watch influencer fitness or you watch all these lifts pass by on Instagram or YouTube, you might think you are incredibly weak, but are you stronger than you think? On the internet, you see so many 405 pound, 500 pound squats, stuff well above that. You see folks deadlifting 500, 600 pounds every single day. 315 pounds on the bench press seems like nothing. And you even see a lot of guys tossing around 200, 250, 300 pounds on the overhead press. And if you watch too much of this content, you start to believe that you are incredibly weak and that these types of lifts are normal. I want to give you an insider perspective as someone that has coached thousands of people, and I've been involved with powerlifting coaching and online coaching, and I've put out hundreds and hundreds of articles on muscle building and strength training and have received a lot of feedback. Now, I'm sure the strength standards I'm about to give are going to be controversial to some. I'm sure we're going to receive some questions considering these strength standards a joke. But in coaching, this is what I see. Before I dive into this, I want to hear your feedback in your commercial gym. Do you see these lifts happening often? All right, so I'm going to focus on four major lifts: the squat, the deadlift, the bench press, and the overhead press, the big four, if you will. Now let's start with a squat, a 315 pound squat for reps, a deep squat, not a half squat, or not some sort of a half squat from a high school football player, if you don't mind the humor. A 315 pound deep squat for reps is extremely rare. It's not something you see many lifters actually achieve. 315 doesn't sound like much, but trust me, the number of people that will ever get to a 315 pound squat for reps is extremely rare. You might feel pretty weak at 225 pounds, but once you get your squat up to 275 pounds for reps, it's really into a respectable area. And once you get it close to 315 pounds for reps, you are doing really good. This is what I would call gym elite. You'll very rarely see it in a commercial gym. All right, so hold on. We're going to get the bench press next, but now we're going to talk about the deadlift. You would kind of think that a 500 pound deadlift would be the equivalent here, but in reality, if you see somebody get to a 405 pound deadlift, they are doing wonderful. That's gym elite. 500 is just crazy, crazy strong. But the honest truth is most men will never get to 400. They'll get close to 315, 275 by 5, maybe even 335 by 5. And that is kind of where you see that slowdown zone. So if you want a really good standard on the deadlift, get it to 405 by 5. You will be gym elite. That is pretty darn strong. Now let's talk everybody's favorite lift, lying on a bench and pushing weight off your chest, right? The bench press. You would think 315 is like the amazing standard and everybody is hitting it. But in reality, if you can get your bench press up to 225 by 5, you are doing incredibly well. This is harder to achieve than you would think. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of comments on this. Oh, you're setting the standards low. I'm not trying to set low standards, but in reality, hitting 225 by 5 is a big accomplishment. If I have a client and they're able to get their base strength up to 225 by 5 on bench, 315 by 5 on squats, and hit a 405 deadlift, they're in a pretty good place. They're going to be stronger than just about 99% of the lifters that enter a gym. I don't know about you, but when I go into a commercial gym and I see somebody moving 225 for reps, I know they're in a pretty good place. They're not that far off from hitting a 315 pound 1 rep max on bench. And finally, a lift you rarely ever see someone strong on in a commercial gym. That is the military press or the seated overhead press. Honestly, if I see somebody just doing 135 by 5, I'm pretty impressed. Getting to 165 by 5 is pretty much that gym elite standard. If I see someone doing that, they are in a great place, and they are really not that far off from 185 by 5 or even 205 by 5, which would be pretty elite standards. So again, I'm not trying to set the bar low here for you guys, but I want you guys to realize there's a difference between influencer strength and mega strength on all these big horses you're following on social media, and pretty decent strength that 99% of gym lifters, even the serious ones, will never achieve. Aim for a 315-pound squat, a 405-pound deadlift, a 225 by 5 bench, and 165 by 5 on the overhead. If you guys want more information on strength standards, check out this video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.